But I gotta say, if that were me in your position, I would have killed that man.
Sir? Well, no, I got arrested.
Oh, good, let's go.
Fargo the series aired in 2014 and followed the mishappenings in the small town of Bemidji, Minnesota, when a mild-mannered insurance salesman, Lester Nygaard, shares a chance encounter with a hitman passing through. This event is followed by a series of mysterious murders, and as the police try to put the pieces together, Lester is drawn to a life of an increasingly insidious nature.
The shed, Lester.
In episode 7, Who Shaves the Barber, we find our hitman, Lorne Malvo, returning to the base of the syndicate he works for after killing 2 other hitmen he believed were sent to kill him. The scene for this essay was directed by Scott Winnett and edited by Skip McDonald, both of whom have worked in respective roles on productions such as Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. What's so interesting about this scene is that nearly the first 3 minutes are all one single shot, and almost nearly nothing is seen on screen, where the action and narrative rely on sound design alone.
I'm confused. That's okay, I'm not.
So he's got the stick in his mouth, right? Biting down, and I grab the arrow, and Craigie's in the car having a giggle. Thinks the whole thing's hilarious, which, it's my cousin out there, right? So I slipped the knife out of my boot.
Give me what for? How the knife to his blood face.
And lunch is over.
I don't know how they eat that crap every day. Speaking of,
What? It's fresh.
do you know the conditions of a modern fast food restaurant? I'm not just talking about hygiene.
Get bent.
They did an experiment once. Scientists took 2 glasses of water. And he starts cursing at one, calling it all kinds of names.
You're making this up.
I swear to God. I swear to God. He yells at one glass and then whispers sweet nothings to the other glass. Okay? And in 1 week, just stop. Just stop. But listen, a week later.
Can I help you, sir?
Was that shot? Oh my God, oh my God! Drop it!
Where's the top dog?
The what?
The boss man.
3rd floor, private elevator. Oh no! Freeze, shitbird! Shit!
What's the code? For the elevator.
933. Son of a... God damn it! Get it! Yeah, come on, get him quick! Fuck, get back! Get him!
Jesus.
Here I've made a rough layout of what you could imagine the audio tracks to look like. Every time I heard a new or different sound, I would place an audio block there. In the beginning, we have some fairly ordinary audio, a little background noise, some cars, and dialogue between our 2 FBI agents. Then we follow Malvo into the building, and almost immediately the audio track goes crazy with sound effects, ambient noises, and dialogue. Another interesting thing to notice about this scene is that once it enters the audio-only zone, the pacing quickens. In our dialogue with the FBI agents, it's relatively slow, like their boring stakeout. But as soon as the doors of the building close, all hell breaks loose. It's something that happens so fast and that no one sees, which perfectly expresses the perspective of the agents, totally caught off guard on their seemingly dull stakeout, and how easily Malvo was able to walk away from his crime scenes unsuspected. Going through and making these cuts showed me even more sound design than I originally thought was there. Appropriate sounds like footsteps and the hum of an elevator also help convey meaning as the camera dollies around the outside of the building from window to window. The way the audio shifts from one point to another is fantastic. We start by hearing this guy all the way across the street, then fade out as we tilt down to the car and our agent's audio comes in. This happens again when Malvo enters the scene and we follow him into the building. Even when he's all the way across the street, the dialogue from the car is still fading out, making it almost unnoticeable that we're losing it. This slow fade technique is found in other places too. Occasionally, we hear alarms or busy phone lines filling in the silence as Malvo walks from one room to the next. And as the action heats up again, these ambient noises slowly fade out so our focus can change back to the action. Even though a real alarm wouldn't just stop, pacing the fade to be so gradual and masking it with the fire of gunshots makes the edit seamless and unrecognizable. And finally, once the agents take notice of the situation, we get our first cut, and it's already over.
Jesus.
I love this scene. It's a fantastic example of just how powerful editing can be and how limitless its potential is for storytelling. Skip McDonald is no stranger to fast-paced action, as seen by his work in Breaking Bad, as well as Better Call Saul and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This scene in Fargo is no different, save for the extra challenge of building it entirely from the sound up, if you will. Comical pause here. It really makes you realize that editing isn't just about putting clips together, but can be fun and expressive and offer something that was never there before, as long as you're willing to think outside the box and play with it. Editing is what tells the story, and what makes the story.
Your problem is you spent your whole life thinking there are rules. There aren't.